Iraq is considering a draconian step, one that would drag the country back centuries, one that would endanger its women. The plan is to reduce the age of marriage for women. It's 18 right now, but a new bill says it should be 9. Let me repeat that for you. A new bill in Iraq wants 9-year-old girls to be married off. What explains this barbaric decision? Well, the changes are part of a larger push. Let me explain. Personal matters in Iraq are governed by a 1959 law. Personal matters are things like marriage, divorce, and inheritance. Now, you may think a 1959 law is outdated, but it's way better than the new proposal because that law, the old one, allowed courts to decide on personal issues. The new one seeks to change that. It requires couples to select a sect ahead of marriage, either Sunni or Shia. You choose a sect, and then all your issues will be decided by jurists of that sect. Not a civilian court, not a government arbitrator, but an Islamic jurist of your sect. You can see why this is a problem. Many hardline clerics in Iraq have no issue with child marriage. In fact, they promote it. Most Iraqi marriages are never registered with the government anyway. They're conducted by religious figures. A lot of them are child marriages. 28% of Iraqi girls are married before the age of 18. 22% of unregistered marriages involve brides under the age of 14. So the thinking is quite clear. Legalize all those illegal marriages. Give it a legal cover to what is already happening in the shadows. And how are the people of Iraq responding to this? Activists and women's groups are opposing it. They have held protests in major cities. They want this bill to be withdrawn, which brings us to the politics of it. You see, the 1959 law represents a different time. Iraq had just overthrown its monarchy. Left-wing ideology was gaining momentum, so the law tried to limit the role of religion. But today's Iraq is very different. It has a number of hardline Islamist parties, and they want to roll back the personal laws. One attempt was made last month. A similar bill was pushed in Iraq's parliament. But the outrage was huge. So what has changed this time? Why are they trying again? The biggest Shia coalition of Iraq is now on board. As a result, the bill is more likely to pass this time. It is still being discussed by the lawmakers. But just consider the absurdity of it. Child marriage in 2024. And it's more common than you would think. Around 20% of young women today were married before the age of 18. That's 1 in 5. The United Nations wants to eliminate this practice by 2030, but at this rate, it will take 300 years. Let me show you some data. Sub-Saharan Africa makes up 20% of all child marriages. South Asia makes up 45% of all child marriages. India alone makes up 33%. And just to be clear, child marriage is illegal in India. Yet there are so many child brides. And what does that tell you? That young girls are suffering because of outdated religious beliefs everywhere in the world. In some places, it's child marriage. In some places, it's inheritance. Elsewhere, it's abortion. Women are basically being treated as pawns. Iraqi hardliners want to burnish their Islamic credentials, so they want to legalize child marriage. Donald Trump wants to show that he's a good Christian, so he opposes abortion rights. The Taliban wants to show that they are true Islamists, so they ban women's education. I know these are vastly different examples, but the principle remains the same. Limit women's rights to prove your religious commitment. It's about time politicians stop doing that. Their little games have real-world consequences. Just consider child marriage. Girls getting married at the age of 9, these girls are more likely to experience domestic abuse, less likely to be in school, and more likely to experience health problems. No imaginary religious renaissance is worth it.